On the news, President Buhari commissions historic content development tower, pledge improved infrastructure across Nigeria. Military deploys troops to southern Kaduna as MNJTF raise alarm over Boko Haram recruitment of child soldiers. Trump praised historic peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Filaria Aguncha. We begin in Abuja at the presidential villa, where President Muhammadu Buhari today assured Nigerians that his government will spend more on infrastructure across the country. He made the pledge during the virtual commissioning of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board headquarters in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. The Buhari described the 17-story building known as the Nigerian Content Tower as a reflection of his administration's drive to attract investment, create jobs, and eradicate poverty across Nigeria.
The plan is aimed at the promotion of local production, local services, local innovation, and the use of local materials. The impact of the pandemic has further shown that it is imperative that we must produce what we eat and produce enough of our requirements and more for export. All these policy directives and programs are also meant to address some of the causative factors of insecurity. We believe that the provision of employment opportunities and available infrastructure that support businesses to compete and grow are essential means of addressing some of the causes of insecurity. With commissioning of this project, I want to highlight that we have put in place a landmark of reference in the Niger Delta to reflect long-lasting legacies that signpost the years of oil and gas exploitation, and I assure you that there is more to come.
Well, to security matters now, the Defense Headquarters has deployed more troops to communities in southern Kaduna to address growing attacks in the region. Coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, announced this at a weekly press briefing of the military in Abuja. Enenche said special forces in Operation Safe Haven are carrying out patrols at the various flashpoints in the communities to curtail bloodshed in the general area. The military spokesperson also revealed that the aggressive operations of troops of Operation Hadari Daji has led to a reduction in banditry in Katsina, Kebbi, Zamfara, Sokoto, and adjoining states.
In a bid to curb the recent attacks and isolated killings in southern Kaduna, troops of Operation Safe Haven have continued to intensify efforts aimed at securing the lives and property in the general area. Particularly in this regard, Special Operations Forces have been deployed to the Joint Operations Area, covering the various flashpoints. This move is expected to achieve the desired result with the provision of credible and actionable intelligence, specifically from the primary sources. In this regard, the locals are requested to cooperate with the security agencies by availing them with the required information that will be useful to our collective objective of taking out the criminals from the area.
To effectively tackle insecurity, Nigeria needs help from the international community. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed made the plea on Thursday when he alleged that some world powers have refused to sell to Nigeria weapons needed to fight insurgency in the country. The minister, who did not reveal the name of the alleged world powers, appealed to them not to be swayed by unsubstantiated arguments to deny the country vital platforms and weapons to defeat terrorism. He adds that when needed weapons are denied, the international community cannot accuse Nigeria of failing in its fight against insecurity. Nigeria has been battling insurgent sect Boko Haram for over a decade with little success despite strong offensive by the military. The Boko Haram terrorist sect is now recruiting child soldiers to resuscitate its declining influence in the Lake Chad Basin. Spokesperson for the Multinational Joint Task Force, Colonel Timothy Antinga, disclosed this in a statement issued from N'Djamena, Chad on Thursday. Antinga said the recruitment of child soldiers by the sect was part of their new strategies following the recent mass surrender by their fighters to the military. He said information on this disturbing development was brought in by intelligence sources and corroborated by concerned individuals and groups of a couple of days ago. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, says it will sanction broadcast stations whose content insults President Muhammadu Buhari, state governors, and other Nigerian elders. In a letter to broadcast stations, Chibuike Ogumike, Zonal Director of the NBC Lagos office, also warned against such messages from guests during TV and radio programs. This is coming as NBC earlier today slammed a fine of 5 million naira on a Lagos-based radio station for unprofessional conduct. The NBC attributed the penalty to inciting comments made by a former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Obadiah Mailafia, who was a guest on the station on August 10, 2020. Mailafia, while on air, had alleged that a northern governor is the leader of the Boko Haram sect. Though he presented no evidence to back his claim, the former CBN chair said he got the information from some repentant Boko Haram members. The sacked Vice-Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Oluwatoyin Ogundigbe, has engaged Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozokome, to file a suit to challenge his removal from office. His letter of instruction dated August 12, 2020 alleged that the act of the Governing Council of the university removing him from office was illegal and did not follow due process. Ogundigbe was sacked on Wednesday over allegations of gross misconduct. He has now been replaced by Theophilus Riombo as acting Vice-Chancellor of the institution. Popular Lagos socialite Nathaniel Filaria is dead. Coker passed away on Wednesday in Lagos after a brief illness at the age of 97. He has been mourned by Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who described his death as a great loss to the state and Nigeria as a whole. In a condolence message to the family, Sanwo-Olu said the late Coker's contribution to the state public service as permanent secretary in different ministries are exemplary. The governor also stressed that the deceased combined work and social life in a way that impacted the state positively. Let's take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria record 453 new COVID-19 cases as the federal government approved funds to boost testing capacity. These and more after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, here are some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerians of his administration's drive to attract investments, create jobs, and eradicate poverty. He made the pledge during the virtual commissioning of the headquarters of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State on Thursday. The Defense Headquarters has deployed troops to communities in southern Kaduna to address growing attacks in the region. Coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Anenche, who announced this, said Special Forces and Operation Safe Haven are carrying out patrols at the various flashpoints in the communities to curtail bloodshed in the general area. The National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) says it will sanction broadcast stations whose content insult President Muhammadu Buhari, state governors, and other Nigerian elders. The warning follows a 5 million naira fine slammed on the Lagos-based radio station for unprofessional conduct. Shifting focus to the COVID-19 pandemic, Nigeria's coronavirus toll has climbed to 47,743, with the emergence of 453 new cases in 15 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The cases were confirmed by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) in a tweet on Wednesday night. While Lagos topped the list with 113 cases, the FCT came second with 72 new infections and was followed by Plateau with 59 cases. On a positive note, the country has been able to successfully treat 33,943 patients. Now, there was, however, no increase in the fatality toll as no new death was recorded on Wednesday. But globally, the pandemic has killed at least 743,199 people, while the number of infected persons stands at 20.3 million. Meanwhile, Nigeria has tested over 338,000 persons for the novel coronavirus, and the government is hoping to increase this figure in the coming months. One way it plans to achieve this is by boosting the testing capacity of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC). Members of the Federal Executive Council (FEC) arrived at this decision during the just concluded meeting in Abuja. Djokovic has reports.
As Nigeria's daily confirmed coronavirus cases gradually move towards a decline, the Nigerian government is leaving nothing to chance, ensuring rapid testing among its citizens. One of the most recent developments is the approval of a total sum of 8.4 billion naira for the procurement of 12 items in various quantities to strengthen testing capacities. The approval was given during the 11th virtual meeting of the Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari.
We are procuring testing materials from sample materials to other kits for diagnostics in our laboratory systems to be able to respond properly to the community transmission phase. We have already made plans to have at least one sample collection site in every local government, minimum of 774, and these resources will be necessary to go around the 774 local government areas to ensure that persons in rural areas or small towns are not excluded.
On his part, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, raised an alarm over the double taxation imposed by some states of the Federation on investors in the mining sector. The minister revealed that the council has ordered that such illegal taxes be deducted from the federal allocations of every state.
The National Economic Council should also dialogue with the ministers, with the governors, and let them understand that while states can participate in mining as corporate bodies, in other words, states can register companies and participate in mining, but they cannot come there as a subnational authority because the law is very clear. The federal government has the exclusive right to mine and manage all mineral resources.
The Minister of Environment, while briefing journalists, revealed that the Council approved a Memorandum of National Gender Action Plan and Planet Change, which is said will enable Nigeria to achieve 45% reduction of emissions in 2030.
Women bear most of the brunt of climate change impact. And the purpose of this policy is to mainstream gender within the climate change action plan. What does that mean, to mainstream gender? Being the ones bearing the most brunt, it means that we take particular interest to make sure that women are involved in climate action activities, right from the inception, design, development, implementation, monitoring and evaluation of projects.
This is the 11th time the members of the Federal Executive Council will be holding a virtual meeting since the coronavirus pandemic hits the country nationwide. Things will remain this way while the world awaits the sound of victory on the production of a coronavirus vaccine. Adishawa Odushoga, TV360, Abuja.
And in continuation of its effort to support the government at both national and state levels in the fight against COVID-19, CAS Consort Limited has donated personal protective equipment worth 50 million naira to 7 senior secondary schools in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Chief Executive Officer of the organization, Ademola Kasumu, while handing over the items to representatives of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC, said the move is part of efforts to help stop the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria.
The management of CAS Consort are taking a giant step by looking at a section of our community to donate free of charge to all students that are participating in WAHEC throughout the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja at no cost to the government. We have chosen this weapon, love, by showing love to this section of the community. And we also want to seize this opportunity to talk to well-wishers, government agencies, parastatals, private organizations. Let us join hands together to fight this pandemic.
The only way to reduce the transmission is through collective action. Nigerians are urged to take responsibility. The most important advice for our students is to maintain good hand and respiratory hygiene in order to remain safe. They should be advised to always wash their hands at all times, break, lunch, and all after-school activities.
Let's take a break here, and when we return, we'll join Oyin Adekunle for the latest business stories. Stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Let's now cross over to Oyin Adekunle for business news.
Thank you very much, Fidelia, and welcome to Business News. The federal government is working to ensure the safety and security of telecommunications infrastructure across the country. This is with a view to explore the opportunities in information communication technology, ICT, and also assist in fighting crime. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, said this in Abuja at the virtual commissioning of 11 ICT projects implemented by the agencies under the ministry. This report has details.
It is the Phase 2 commissioning of the digital economy drive of the federal government, and these 11 projects are considered relevant in the areas of security, economic diversification, and anti-corruption. The projects, which were executed in 8 states, include Emergency Communication Center, Tertiary Institution Knowledge Center, Information Technology Incubation Park, New Neighborhood Post Office, and Information Technology Capacity Building Center, amongst others. During the event, the Minister of Communications noted that the vandalization of critical telecommunications infrastructure is hurting the growth of digital economy and affecting security concerns.
Mr. President directed NSA, who is in charge of critical national infrastructure, firstly, to categorize and accommodate our ICT infrastructure as part of critical national infrastructure, and secondly, to also direct security institutions all over the country to protect our infrastructure. And this will go a long way in, one, improving the quality of service, secondly, reducing the cost of investment, and thirdly, will go a long way to bring down the price and cost of data.
Whatever it is, let us develop capacity for seamless transmission of data and reception of it. That is when we take maximum advantage of the new life that technology has brought.
These are projects that are adding value, not only to the economy, but to day-to-day life of our people and the society. I urge you to continue with these great initiatives. And also we remain handy as a government to continue to be your partner.
Other speakers also canvassed for the implementation of digital knowledge and skills at all levels so that Nigeria can maximize the potentials in the digital world to diversify the economy.
What would have happened to the world when COVID-19 compelled all of us to shut down? We've been able to run government, we've been able to run our economy, we're able to run our businesses, thanks to the to communication technology and the digital economy.
Technology now sits atop everything, and with it, we intend that communication is made seamless. With it, we intend that education and learning and its outcomes and the processes of building any nation then becomes transformed.
This is just to illustrate what the president is doing in this country, ensuring that we're using digital economy to enhance the potentials that we have in our country.
The projects would be operated by the Nigerian Communications Commission, National Information Technology Development Agency, Nigerian Postal Services, and the Universal Service Provision Fund. Unyi Adekunle, TV360, Nigeria.
Let's take a break here and return with Stock Market Review. Thursday was another day of gains for investors on the NSE, rising from a boost from previous session. The bulls continue their reign in the market, pushing market benchmark today further up by 0.38%. And in summary, actually today the volume of trade increased by over 50 million to 258 million units of shares, while the value of trade also dropped from 3.8 billion naira to 1.67 billion, and that exchanged hands in 3,640 deals. The top gainers at the close of trading were spread across major blue chip companies, Nigeria breweries, with 2 naira price gain, followed by MTN Nigeria and of course Unilever and Stanbic Unilever chalked up gains of 1 naira. And moving on now to the percentage laggards led by Ikeja Hotel. We also have BUA Cement, followed by Naimet as well as Champion. And that's it on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. But moving on now to foreign stocks, we see FTSE is down in the red. UK economy sparks market chaos, and US stocks also fall on jobless claims, while Nikkei is there up today 1.75% higher. And that's it from here. Fidelia, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Oni, for that update. To the foreign scene now, Israel and the United Arab Emirates have agreed to normalize relations. This was announced in a joint statement by U.S. President Donald Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed. In a video released by the White House, Trump described the peace deal as historic and urged other Arab nations to toe the same path. Until now, Israel has had no diplomatic relations with Gulf Arab countries.
This is a truly historic moment. Not since the Israel-Jordan peace treaty was signed more than 25 years ago has so much progress been made towards peace in the Middle East. By uniting two of America's closest and most capable partners in the region, something which said could not be done, this deal is a significant step towards building a more peaceful, secure, and prosperous Middle East. Now that the ice has been broken, I expect more Arab and Muslim countries will follow the United Arab Emirates lead, and I want to just thank them for being. It's not surprising, knowing Mohammed so well, it's not surprising they are in that lead position, and normalize relations with Israel. We are already discussing this with other nations, very powerful, very good nations, and people that want to see peace in the Middle East. So you will probably see others of these, but this is the first one in more than 25 years. This deal will allow much greater access to Muslims from throughout the world to visit the many historic sites in Israel, which the Muslims want to see very badly and have wanted to see for many, many decades.
Talking sports now, Novak Djokovic has confirmed he will play at the U.S. Open, which starts on the 31st of August in New York. The decision comes after a host of top players, including defending champion Rafael Nadal and women's #1 Ashley Barty, decided to skip the event in New York due to fears of the coronavirus pandemic. 33-year-old Djokovic, who recently recovered from the coronavirus, will also compete at Western and Southern Open, which will hold in New York from the 20th to 28th of August. Well, that's it on News Now. Many thanks for being a part of it. Bye for now.